So, NaNoWriMo is over, and no matter if you've done the challenge or haven't done the challenge, you'll still have a finished book after watching my other videos on how to write books. And now comes the really hard part. Editing your book. The part where I am currently in right now. So therefore, I thought I'd give you a few tips and pointers on how I edit my book and how you can edit your book better, or edit your novel better. So that when we're finished here, you can go and start editing your novel effectively, instead of being overwhelmed by all the walls of text that you've written in poor grammar and plot hole written and everything that comes with writing your first draft. So let's turn your first draft into a second draft. First thing that I would say you need to do is to plan the editing. What are you going to do and what are you going to focus on? What do you want to edit? If you have a Word program or like Google Docs or something like that, you can divide your text into chapters and sub-chapters so that you easier can navigate around. Instead of trying to find page 394,
turn to page 394.
You can just go to chapter 4, sub-chapter 3, the piece about the dragon's history. And that makes it easier to find in your novel, because it's a lot of text if you've written a full novel. My own novel is at 100,000 plus words, and I need my sub-chapters to find in my novel, or I'll just have to scroll and scroll forever, and then I'll just miss the one word in that one sentence. And that just takes a lot of time, so I try to minimize that time. After that, you want to choose what you're going to focus your editing on. Do you want the story or the grammar / the language? You can do both, of course, but it's better to choose one first, so you don't get bogged down with editing everything that you come across. And to make this more manageable, when you actually find a grammar problem, when you focus on the story and trying to fix the plot holes, write down notes. If you are on your computer, then you can often write down notes next to your Word document. And if you prefer the touch of a pen and paper, you can sit by your computer or your typewriter or whatever you write in and write down notes next to it. Just make sure to divide up the notes so you know how to find them later on, because it's going to be a lot of notes. So writing story, you come across a grammar problem, write down a note. Write grammar, come across a story problem, write down a few sentences or notes on how to change it later. And then you can come back when you have the second draft and fix that. And then another important thing is to let the editing take time. Edit one chapter and then take maybe a week off. Try to get some perspective on your story and try to get out of the mindset of the story so you don't become too attached to everything. And know that it's a marathon, not a sprint. You write a book and a book takes time to write. It's like a full-on book. This is The Chosen One by Kristen Cashore, and it is thick, as you can see. But no matter how thick it is, you have a lot of text in something like this. Like me, I have 100,000 words, as I said earlier. There are 100,000 ways that my book can go wrong, and 100,000 possibilities of me spelling something wrong. And I don't want to do that, so therefore, let it take time. And then try new things, rewrite scenes, cut out a piece of the text, write a new scene, and then compare those two. Do you like the new one more, or do you want to stick with the old one? Because sometimes when you're in your writing flow, you can just write whatever comes to your mind, and sometimes that does not align with what you want the story and where you want the story to go. Sometimes it feels like the characters should do something different. Well, then cut out that piece, put it aside, and then write something new and compare them and see if it's better or not. I mean, what you gotta lose? Nothing. This is the editing process. This is where you make your book into what you actually want it to be 100%. And fix the grammar and all that, but grammar is boring, so let's talk about the story always. And the last advice that I would like to give you is writing a novel or a book takes time. It's hard. It takes a lot of mind control from you to actually sit down and do it. So have fun. Enjoy the process. If you find something funny, then expand on that and just laugh about it. If you think something is hard, skip it, take it later. Because when you're this close to finishing your second draft and being done with editing, then you'll have so much motivation to do it and you can just breeze through probably. So prioritize, but also have fun. It's really hard to give tips when you yourself is in that process of editing a novel, but I hope it helped a little bit. And if you want tips on how to write a book, if you haven't started, then you can check another video that I made up here. And then you can come back to this editing video and watch it afterwards. And that's all I got, folks. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great editing process. Bye.